All right, welcome back. Now we're gonna try this again. I guess Google Chrome got something going on with updates or whatnot. Now, what I was talking about, these Kieshas are all over the internet and all over social media acting confused as to why, men, black men in particular, don't approach them, don't attend singles mixers, and basically seem uninterested in building any type of relationship with them. I'm seeing a lot of videos from these women, just like this one on your screen. Now, like I said, I tried to find the original, couldn't find it, but I saw some people responded to it. AC's, I think he let part of the video play, and that's all I need. And now, allegedly, according to this lady, this was a church mixer. So these are all church women. And that makes a big difference. But, because it signals to the men that these are good women. You may not have attended previous mixers, all you productive black men out there, but this singles mixer is full of church girls, good girls. Come meet one. And it was still empty.
Was just sitting here thinking about how I went to singles night at church and it was hundreds. I mean, at least 1,000. First, I thought it was 500, but the pastor said it was 1,000 singles in attendance. Like, are we all living the same life at this point? Because I've never been in a room with that many single people or even thought that it was even, I thought I was like the only one left. I mean, beautiful women. All types, shapes, and sizes. Literally African-American women. Like, a room full of singles. And I'm like, this has to be an experiment. Like, this has to be like a simulation. Is that the word I want to use? I think so. Like, I'm confused. And I'm like low-key, like nervous. Like, for us. Wish shit for myself. Fuck y'all. Because where are the men? Where are the men? Then again, don't know.
Where are the men? That's a trend. That's a new trend among these women. Where are the men? They're not approaching you nowhere. Grocery stores, on the block, singles mixers, they're not even showing up. And even if they do show up, they ain't paying no attention to y'all. Bars, clubs, you're getting the same story from every source. Now, like I mentioned, look at this chick. She looks slender, but she still is unattractive. And again, I'm making this video, and I make these videos because these women seem genuinely confused, which is crazy to me. I feel like I understand it. You're confused because of how out of touch you are with black men. And anything black men say, they chalk it up as low IQ monkey babble. And I'm not trying to be funny. They look at us the same way a white racist would. Oh, yes, they do. And remember, white racist Becky will still lay up with black men. They do not respect our brains. I suspect that's why they haven't been listening to, because we've been telling y'all for decades what the issue is. Now y'all starting to see it for yourselves because more younger people are getting older and they're growing up on the things that we've talked about. So you're dealing with a new dynamic today. They're looking at you, they see a wannabe, they see a funny looking Kiesha with a black woman's face, but with Becky and Ling Ling's hair, Maria's hair, huh? They looking at your attitude, they looking at your disrespect, and they're not rocking with you. We've been telling y'all this for decades. They're considering a whole lot of things. Like I said on the previous stream, they may look at you and think to themselves, if I get with this Kiesha, there's a 50% chance she infects me with an STD or HIV. They look at you and they see obesity. They look at you and see disrespect, a horrible attitude. They look at you and they see this. They see a Brad worshiper through and through.
The weather outside. I love white boys. I love white boys. I love white men.
In my life, and I might one day be a white dude's wife. That's alright. Yeah, I got a type. Some people don't like it, but this world is the hype.
If there's one thing that TikTok really makes me want to do, I want a white boyfriend.
Now, like
really
I said, shut up, Kiesha. Like I said, they don't talk about black men like this. You don't see them expressing this desire, this strong desire to get a black man. You don't hear it. As we've said, they don't treat dating black men as if it's something special. But with other men, especially Brad, they treat it as a lifelong dream come true. And you know what's happening, Keisha's? Black men are seeing that. And they're getting turned off. We don't share y'all's obsession and worship of Brad with Becky. We don't worship Becky like that. We ain't never gave dating Becky a nickname. Name one. One nickname we gave dating Becky. Or Maria. Or Ling Ling. We just go get them. We don't put them on a pedestal. Y'all put these other men on a pedestal. Black men are seeing that. And like the title of this stream says, they're feeling like they're degrading themselves by getting with you. Because what's going on in these young black men's mind is, why would I want to get with a woman who looks down on me or who looks at me as an inferior? Who is expressing her belief that I'm inferior by trying not to look like me or resemble me, but she's trying to resemble these other men of the world and their women. She's trying to look like these other men's counterpart. So if I get with her, I'm degrading myself. I'm not going to disrespect and insult myself. See, y'all trying to look attractive to a group of men who are nothing like y'all. Y'all got to match our self-esteem and confidence before we would even want to be with you. You got to match our level of respect. Yes, I said respect. Black men respect black women. They go beyond. They worship them. And that's been a trend in black America too. I don't want to hear none of that nonsense. But yet, these men who've tried their hardest, black men have tried harder than any other group to admire black women. We've tried harder to admire them and get them to admire us than any other group of men have tried to get their women to admire them. Yet and still, they have far less respect for us than other groups of women have for their men. Why would a group of men, a population of men, want to get with a group of women like that? These Keishas seem like their brains don't work, don't it? They acting confused. Whoa, I don't understand. Why aren't men showing up? This singles mixer, they said was over 1,000 singles there. Now I saw a couple men there, and I mean a couple. I'm telling you, back in the days when I was going to clubs as a teenager, in the early 90s, there was a lot of men there. It was nothing like this. Anytime we would go out, it was like 50-50. Of course, it's always more women, but it was nothing like this. And, you know, the whole attitude towards these Kieshas in general was a lot different. You have discussions among black men that are totally different today. And this is the problem, man. They don't care about what we think, our opinions, our desires, our values. So how in the world would you expect us to want you? And the internet has exposed them, and I'm telling you, it does not seem like they're bright enough to see and understand how much they've revealed over the internet.
Like, I'm confused and I'm like low key, like nervous, like for us. Wish shit for myself, fuck y'all. Because
I mean, I'm not being sarcastic. The list is so long, I would never get through the complete list. I wouldn't. Look at these nails. They pay hundreds of dollars to have somebody do this to their nails. They are the biggest spenders by far in this country. Yet they make the least amount of money. Getting with y'all would be disastrous economically, financially. This is what men, black men, are seeing when they look at y'all. Spenders, wannabes, mean, disrespectful, evil, nasty, and seemingly unable to stay in relationships, like I said. What has happened is these women still got the mentality of plantation breeders. That's what it is. They were plantation breeders for longer than they've been free. And as a plantation breeder, there was more intense emotions that went into their lifestyle as plantation breeders, right? It was reinforced through punishment, intimacy, right? Intimacy, their lifelong desire to be the master's wife rather than a mistress. All these intense emotions. They don't have intense emotions when they're with black men. They look at us as nothing. It's just an availability for them. You know, they get with a black man because in their mind, I'm not going to get no Brad. I ain't got no other choice. So let me settle for this inferior black man and treat him like dirt. We all know how they do when they get married. These Kieshas get married and then suddenly they start talking about how something don't feel right. Oh, I can do better. Something just ain't right. They start acting weird and funny towards their husband, right? And then their husband, who can't take it no more, steps out on them. And then they go back and, tell other people, oh, he's a horrible man. He left me. He cheated on me, so I divorced him. No. You divorced him before the official divorce with all these weird emotions and thoughts. Why do you think they say that? So many of them say that. Oh, something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right. These women are most comfortable with going from man to man. You've heard several of them admit it. Like, I don't have to be married. I don't want to be married. They don't want to be wives. They want to go from man to man. If that don't sound like a plantation breeder, I don't know what does. Y'all got to remember, man, 100 years is an extremely short period of time. Extremely short. 100, 150 years. That was like yesterday. Mentalities and psyches can stretch on for a much longer period than that. Hundreds of thousands of years. People can have the same fixed mentality, essentially. And they have not veered far from plantation breeders mentally. They are disconnected from their kids, right? They don't want to be mothers, don't want to be parents. Look at it as a burden Well, it sounds like you don't come from a lineage of women who were mothers, who were wives. What was your lineage of women? Plantation breeders. No wonder you don't want to be married. You want to go from man to man. You don't want to be a mother. You abuse the kids that you have. And you hate black men. Black men are seeing this. They're listening to our content. You got to remember, we've been putting out content now for 15 years or more here on the internet. Many of these young men have grown up on the things that we've talked about. Y'all have no idea. I'm telling you now, back on my SBW channel, I had guys who were as young as 12 leaving comments. And they look at y'all and they see problems. They see hate. And again, why would a black man want to get with a woman who he feels like looks down on him? Y'all don't celebrate being with black men. You only celebrate and do TikTok dances when you with a Brad. You only want to monetize your relationship when you're with a Brad. Haven't y'all noticed that? Haven't y'all noticed that? They don't see nothing special in being with a black man. That's what it is. But being with a Brad is special. You Kieshas don't understand how much that turns black men off. But now you're seeing the results. You're seeing the backlash of not paying attention to what we've been saying.
Union between white men with power and black women with education is what America actually needs.
Y'all don't have education. And your worthless education, it ain't worth nothing anyways. And you heard her say white men in power. This is how they look at Brads. They're the men with the power. Shows you how small of a scope they have of what power is.
To finally heal.
So I've always had a preference for white guys.
It's not the American.
You all have. You all got a white Jesus. You all had white Barbie dolls. You all look at getting with Brad as a dream come true, something to celebrate, dance about. And don't you see what you're doing? You don't act like that with black men. Even if black men are not trying to look for this behavior, they see it, they feel it. And they become disgusted. Isn't this crazy? The men themselves can sit here and tell them what they don't like about them. And then they sit up and still act confused. It shows you how much they don't pay attention and don't respect what we say.
American racial supremacy class system. It's just what I like. And I think it's okay to like what I like, just like you can like what you like.
I want to experience dating a white guy who has a nice big truck and a very Christian family. Except he goes behind his Christian family's back and does fun stuff. I want him to invite me over to dinner, and I want his family to give me weird stares because I'm a person of color. Like, I live for this shit. That's all I want in my life.
Visiting Nairobi, so that means money. And if you're white and broke, get away from me. I know my ancestors would cry, but every single time I'm around this sky, I go zumba 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 zang.
Ugh. Ugh. Now let me point something out for all you Hotep brothers, all you FBA and proud who ain't rocking with us over here. Let me point something out. You can't deny that these women celebrate unions with Brads and other men. You can't deny it. But some of you might say that it's only a small percentage of these Kieshas that do this, that think like this. If that's the case, then why haven't any of these Kieshas made it a trend to talk about these women and how unusual they are, how abnormal these divestors and swirlers are? No, those are y'all's comrades. Even if you are not on the internet praising and you're doing it behind closed doors. Y'all not providing pushback against these Brad worshipers. None. You got a couple of them on YouTube who just using it for, attention, the platform, just regurgitating the stuff that they've heard us say. But you don't hear those Kieshas either celebrate unions with black men, do you? I know a lot of you black men, you follow these Kieshas on YouTube who seem to be on our team. Hey, look at this Kiesha. She speaks on our behalf. You don't hear those Kieshas celebrating unions with you. All they do is parrot what we say, true or false. All they do is get up there and talk. None of them. I don't care how down they act. Who's that? Shahrazad Ali. Did she ever celebrate unions between black women and black? No. So these other men, Brad, they make them feel a way that black men don't. That much is obvious. And here's the kicker. These young black men are seeing it. Black men in general are seeing this. We're not dumb. We're not blind. We see y'all's over-the-top obsession with other men. And we don't want to degrade ourselves by consciously accepting being a less than getting with you.
I fell in love with Zungu man. Zungu, 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 zang. I fell in love with Zungu man.
One thing I've been falling for lately is black women marrying and starting families with white men. Like, I'm so freaking here for that.
White is reparations for black women? Are you saying that?
Yes, I am saying that.
So this Kiesha got on this man's show and said that white penis is reparations for slavery. That's another thing that these black men are being disgusted by. Y'all's disconnection from your history, from your ancestry. That disgusts black men. And they have no feeling about it at all. They seem soulless, don't they? They seem soulless. Over the top obsession for these other men, for Brad. But they don't do these black backflips and TikTok dances over black men. It's a wrap for y'all, man. And you can't start doing it now.
All right.
My baby daddy right.
That's the name of this episode, y'all. White is reparations for black women. She said it, not
Can
this.
I say why?
He looked like he about ready to cry. I thought he was about to cry. Right here. See, black men, y'all got to stop responding like this. Y'all be wanting, oh, no, sister, don't do that.
White is reparations for black women? Are you saying that?
Yes, I am saying that.
All right.
My baby daddy right.
That's the name of this episode, y'all. White is reparations for black women. She said it, not
Can
this.
I say why, though? All my bills was paid. I wasn't arguing with nobody.
I was say,
getting taken
'cause you
out
know
for
they-
trips.
Yeah, you wasn't arguing with your Brad because you don't get sassy with Brad. Huh? They put up that front and try to suppress their natural Kiesha spirit. And some of them can do it for a few months. But you see, she ain't no longer with that Brad she talking about right now. Huh?
I was getting taken out for trips.
Because they've been giving slaves white on the low. You know that.
Now, and immediately he brings up slavery, trying to talk her out of it. Y'all got to stop doing this, man. Black man, that's simping. That's simping. If they so disrespectfully and carelessly say something like that, why would you follow that up by trying to beg them to come back to black men? That's all that is. He used to rape you during slavery. Stop it. Why y'all be saying that? Y'all think they don't know that? Y'all think grown Kieshas don't know that part of history? That's probably the only part of history they're aware of. That they used to be slaves and was raped during slavery. Stop it. Let them go. That's what they want. That's what they're passionate about. They're not passionate about you, brother. And I'm talking about the Kieshas who are currently married to black men. and in relationships with black men. They still look at their relationship as settling. They look at Brad and these other men as a step up, a level up. And some of you black men who are with these Kieshas, you know it. You see the twinkle in your Kiesha's eye when that Brad walked by, that particular Brad walked by, and y'all accept this subordinate, inferior position. And fewer black men are willing to play that role. That's what's happening. All you Kieshas acting confused. I don't know why you're confused. This is exactly what's happening.
Oh my God.
I haven't had that issue with Caucasian men. Sex was never brought up. They just...
No, y'all just. Here's what they failing to understand. We see y'all code switching at the job. We see how somehow y'all turn into a pure Becky when y'all interact with these Brads. You're not yourselves when you interact with these Brads. That's the difference. When you interact with black men, that's when you get ghetto. That's when you get hood. That's when your real ghetto ratchet self come out, when you interact with us. I mean, as soon as they interact with us, then as soon as they interact with Brad and Becky, they're back to being the Becky themselves. Yet they still acting confused. Ain't nothing to be confused about. You know what they do? They try to make the argument that it's us, that it's black men that are the difference. That they don't have these arguments in the same relationship with these Brads because of how dysfunctional black men are. That's not the case at all. It's all based on y'all's obsession and worship with these dudes. Y'all instantly start acting different.
Wanted to just love on me. And I mean, to the point where like, I dated this one guy and he would pick my food up from the table and carry it to my car. He would hold the door for me. When I got in the car, he would close the door.
Why aren't you still with him? What's wrong, Kiesha? Yeah, you speaking about this guy in the past tense. Why aren't you still with this good white boy? They cannot maintain long-term relationships. They can't do it.
We get on his side, like.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because I think
this just randomly popped up in my head, but I like my white boys bland, and I like to add seasoning depending on what I need to season. Like, I'm gonna add seasoning to you. I don't want my white boy coming seasoned already.
I mean, listen to that. I want my white boy like this. They don't even talk about black men in that sense. I want my black boy like this. They don't treat black men as if they're unique in any way. All the uniqueness and everything that's sophisticated and interesting, Brad possesses in the mind of these Kieshas. With us, we're just something to settle with, use. Once they get with us, just look at us as a wallet, disrespect, belittle all the time, and just, vent their hatred out on. And when these dudes out here try to talk you into marrying these Kieshas, they're saying that you should just take it and put up with it. I've seen men, black men, in this situation all my life, dealing with some head case Kiesha. The marriages that exist between black men and Kieshas, they are horrible. And there's only a quarter of you married anyways. And the rest of you, 75%, what are you doing? You're sleeping around, having more kids than the women who are married.
You already got experiences and this and that. Whatever. You're going to start off bland with me. And when we're done, you're going to be seasoned. And you're going to be perfectly seasoned.
Oh. This buffalo looking Kiesha. I've already responded to her. I don't even want to hear her talk again. Kieshas, they need to understand that many black men are coming to the realization that they would rather be another group of women's fetish than to be a subordinate and inferior with you. Because at least those women in some way are fascinated with black men. At least those women have a culture where they give respect, a lot more respect to their men than you do. You got to remember, Maria, Becky, Ling Ling, they come from a whole different culture where their men aren't degraded to the extent that black men are by y'all. So these black men, they go into relationships with these women and they have a totally different experience, and they do it without trying to pretend to be a Brad like y'all be pretending to be a Becky. They do it without code switching. These other women are actually attracted to us because we're being ourselves. They're attracted to the difference. They look at the difference as exotic, as interesting. Whereas with y'all try to be just like Becky and sit back and expect somebody to look at y'all as interesting or sophisticated. No, you look clownish. And it wouldn't be such a big deal of how ridiculous you look and how horrible your self-esteem is to be doing crap like that if you had a very polite attitude. If y'all had a culture of kindness, a culture of respect, y'all would be much better off if you were simply nice on average. Yet, here y'all all over the internet acting confused, wondering what's wrong when we've been telling you for decades.
Where are the men? Where are the men? Then again, don't know. Never mind. We know where they at. Bye.
They're not dealing with you. They're not dealing with y'all. That's where they're at. They're going elsewhere. Nervous? You should be panicking.
Man, it's not only black men that's going elsewhere. That's the thing when it comes to these Kieshas. These other groups of men going elsewhere too. Y'all be up here bragging about getting with Brad. It's only a tiny percentage of Brads to get with y'all. What is it, like 1% of Brads married? It's less than 1%. Less than 1% of Brads get with y'all. Lee ain't checking for y'all. And they got dozens, maybe even hundreds of videos. These Kieshas got hundreds of videos online talking about how they want an Asian man. They've done the rounds with all groups of men. Latino, Brads, Asians. Yet none of them is checking for y'all. Like, how do you expect non-black men to look at a group of women who put their counterparts down and platform, idolize, and worship other groups of men just because they're white? Y'all remember that, Brad? It may have been a couple of them by now who got online and he said, look, all you black women, y'all need to stop worshiping white boys just because we white. These Brads have told these Kieshas, stop with the Brad worship. And they still run around acting confused. I'm telling you, man, something's wrong with their brains, dude. Their brains are regressed. They're mentally, psychologically, spiritually, they have not evolved beyond the plantation. That's why this obsession with other men is so intense with them. They feel like it's something to celebrate.
Forget you should be panicking. It's a wrap for y'all. You kept telling them that you didn't want them.
Yeah. That was another one. How many campaigns have they had that were so negative? I don't need a man campaign. They've had so many movements They've had so many movements that permeated throughout their population. Don't need a man movement, divesting movement, swirling movement, bullet bag movement, Dusty's movement, right? You're a conquer group of men movement. Abort black boys, abort black babies movement. Have y'all not realized that y'all strike a lot of black men as a group of satanic women? A lot of these black boys look at y'all and they're like, whoa. They're truly dumbfounded. And yet these Kieshas go on about their life and keep wondering what's wrong with everybody else. Y'all going through life behaving and talking like lunatics. And at the same time, thinking there's something wrong with everybody else. No. And that's why y'all headed into extinction. Y'all are on your way out the door. When black Americans, after we're gone, nobody is going to blame that on us. See, every ill in the black community has always been blamed on us. But we're going to make sure that at least our extinction is not blamed on us. Because y'all don't have no argument compared to the things we're pointing. We're pointing out facts. We're dealing with reality. We're not making stuff up. We're not lying on you. Y'all just going to have to face it. All these lies, y'all been treasonous. Treasonous. And black men are fed up. And other groups of men, they don't respect you. They see your behavior and don't respect you. That's why it's so easy for so many of these brads to unalive you. Bop you across the head every night. I'm telling you, aside from these Kieshas that get found somewhere, there's a whole lot more of them getting slapped around by these brads. They don't care nothing about you. And when they're ready to get married and settle down and maybe pass down inheritance, they don't marry you. Y'all basically, you're just a slave to them, basically.
Loud, you're disrespectful. You call being disagreeable strong, fake independent, easily.
That's another important one. Referring to being loud, nasty, and disrespectful, that's being a strong black woman. It's like everything that they've embraced has been negative. Negative. Your feminist movements, strong black woman, and I'm telling you, that's a powerful and very prevalent culture among them. To get loud, to get tough, to act like a man, to step to men. It's ridiculous. And it's backfiring. It's cultural, it's racial suicide. That's what y'all doing right now.
Influence, have little to no morals. Men are tired of it. Black men are
Yeah. The lack of morals. Like I said before, they've said things that black men have never said. You gonna call black men bullet bags, knowing that the majority of these black men that get unalived are kids? So they're basically y'all's kids. And then you come up with a nickname bullet bag. Then this idea of aborting black boys, that becomes a thing among you. And don't forget the psychology that permeated through their population based on their belief that they were more successful and earned more money than us. Even though that has always been a lie, when these women have been believing that for so long, it shapes their personality and how they interact with us. They have far less respect for us. And this has been a generational thing. as part of their culture, believing that they were more successful and made more money than us. So it's no question about it. They look at us as inferiors compared to other groups of men. Why would we want to get with you when we know that that's how you look at us? This is amazing to me. To see them crash out and to, y'all dying basically. Y'all on y'all's deathbed. Huh?
Tired of it.
Man, let me tell you something. Most people don't get it right. They say that these Kieshas idolize Brad and stuff like, no, they worship Brad. And their worship seemed to be contrasted with their self-hatred. Black men are just tired of it. And then, to make it even worse, think about it. I haven't even touched on how out of shape the majority of them are. Even if you were nice women, that would drive a significant number of men away. You're the same size as the house you live in. Huh? You can't even fit inside your automobile. You get inside I remember I drove Uber. I was working for Uber for a while a few years ago. And Big Kiesha got in the back seat. Man, my whole car tilted. It was slumped, man. We was riding sideways. I kid you not. So you add that on. You add on the STDs, HIV rates, and it's like, okay, I'm not going to. Y'all are not an option. You're not an option. And these Brads look at it as funny how much y'all obsess over them, to the point where they feel like, let me make content based on how easy it is to lay up with these Kieshas. Y'all know how embarrassing that is? Y'all should be extremely ashamed and embarrassed. But you clearly see it has no effect on them. You don't see any of them really dealing with this. And again, refer to your favorite Kiesha content creators. I know there's some black men who say, oh, there's some of these Kiesha content creators, they riding for us. How hard do they push unions between black men and black women? They don't push it at all. All they do is get up and talk about other Kiesha's behavior. That ain't nothing. They've been fighting each other for the longest, forever. They've been willing to call each other's foul behavior out for a long time. Ain't nothing special about that. Did they saying the same things was they saying the same things that we're saying before we start saying it? No. They're just pandering. Stop with the nonsense. And you, Kiesha, stop acting confused. Doesn't it seem like we're at the point where you can't even talk to them the way I'm talking right now? Nothing will snap them out of it. Nothing. You know how they have to be right? It's that same passion. In one ear and out the other. In one ear and out the same. So stop acting confused, Kiesha. You should be well aware of why y'all so single. And look at how desperate y'all are. It's crazy because you don't see other groups of women out here lusting after any other group of men like this. It's only Kiesha's. Making special TikTok videos, songs, dances, interracial dances. You don't see Becky out here doing that for Enrique. For black men. For nobody. You don't see Ling Ling out here doing this for Brad, for Enrique. Y'all put forth a lot of effort to be scooped up by a man, a Brad or something. And it hasn't helped y'all at all. Still being erased from the face of the earth. That's my advice. Take it or leave it. Salute. Everybody in the building. I will see y'all on the next live.